switch my fucking profile picture fucking start.
Why is yours of is that Miyamoto
It's
or
Miyazaki right before he threw a fucking Pikmin at the Nintendo audience.
What? Why would he throw Pikmin at a Nintendo audience?
Shut up.
Because Pikmin.
It's Pikmin. Fucking
Why did you hit the fucking button?
Yeah, we've been going for like 30
We've been
seconds
going,
now.
let's go!
Oh wait, we've been
welcome
recording.
to yet another sponsor the podcast.
And canceled.
It is I, Miyazaki, from such games as Pikmin.
In Japan, we walk 20-mile uphill both ways to get to school. This was before physics was invented.
Anyway, Ninja, take us away.
Greetings and salutations for those of you that haven't left the call. Welcome to Y.A.R.P episode 71, the big finale of our Halloween coverage for this year. And we covered some modern horror. The Black Phone. No, that's not racist, I promise.
Whoa, dude, is that fucking Black Phone?
Oh, dude, that's Black Phone. For I believe 3 out of the 5 of us in this call, this was our first viewing. So starting from left to right, Mr. Jake, how did you feel?
My cold, dead black heart pumped the strange fluid through my body and I felt alive and I didn't know why. It was scary.
Was there a particular moment that warmed your cold, dead heart, or was it just kind of the whole vibe?
The power of friendship transcends death, and I don't know, it's just, your bros will always be with you even when they dead, and they'll say, beat the shit out of this fucking, child killer with a phone. Like, fucking boss.
He did literally get more training than Ray. Like, he learned how to fight. We saw it. It was great.
Yeah.
Wyatt, how did you feel about it?
I really liked it. My favorite part, in all honesty, was how fucking smart this kid was, actually. Anytime there was an obstacle, or when he was given a hint to something, he would get right to work. I really appreciate that. I like it when characters are smart. Like
Oh yeah, definitely.
When the good example would be like when he's trying to get the little hatch thing off the freezer. He doesn't have anything to unscrew it, so he takes parts out of the toilet. It's really cool.
Yep.
He also drinks water from the toilet too, because the top bowl is actually clean.
Yes.
Yeah, the cistern, not the bowl.
Yeah, cistern.
Yeah.
Miyazaki, how did you feel about it?
It was no Pikmin, but
is that how he grades everything? Is that how Miyazaki?
That's just gonna be the theme today.
Cancelled. Slur, how did you feel about it?
I thought it was fucking brilliant. Like, anytime we introduced this, like, just one of us brought the trailer and showed it to the rest of us, and as soon as I heard, like, modern horror, immediately braced for cringe, but the trailer looked like, this might be okay. And then, yeah, recommendations are coming in, we put it on, and it's like, good God, it's actually fucking good. Like, really good. Extremely tightly written, all the characters are either very likable or at least proactive. Finn's a little bit basic, but he's well-rounded, and you completely get what he's about and why he is the way he is. It all just fits together like a glove. I liked it.
Like a glove. It was a very Nova movie, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Very Nova.
Incredibly Nova.
It's one of those things I normally try to avoid bringing up, but I actually really enjoyed the pacing. Like, watching it for the second time, it just the efficiency of each scene. Like, we are fucking moving through this runtime.
Like, I don't think there's so much as a line wasted, honestly.
Yeah, I just now looked at the clock. It's like, yeah, we finished a whole fucking movie. It doesn't feel like it. Like that movie it fucking bolted, man.
Well, just watching it from the beginning until stuff starts ratcheting up and things start to escalate. It's like, yeah, we are moving right along. Like this, there is no wasted time. There's no bullshit. It's like everything that you see is important. And I also like and appreciate that everything that comes up, like especially the recommendations from the previous victims, it doesn't always help him right this second, but it all comes back up again later. It
Like
all
the-
gets
Yeah,
used.
The opening of the meat freezer to get the meat to distract the dog so he can
Yep.
escape.
I actually, the Wire was a good example because both the bars that would later be used in the end, and the wire that would be used to trip him up.
Yeah. Even other little things, like the fact that one of the previous kids was able to scratch something into the wall. It's not a tool for him, but it sets up that this is just plaster. Like this is something that you can scrape away or smash, which then becomes very important later when we
That's
see him breaking through it with the cistern lid.
You're
Like
right.
if he just went straight from, hey, this is like a concrete bunker, and he picks up a cistern lid, starts smashing it, I would immediately fucking raise an eyebrow, if not for the fact I was actually told very early that this stuff it's actually not super solid. You can break through this. It's like, huh,
Mm-hmm.
very detailed.
I must have missed that line then, because I
It
thought
wasn't a line. That's what I mean. It was subtle. It was just something you were shown. It was implied by the things that had happened.
Yeah, like
The fact that the
Griffin
kid
had-
was able to carve a number into it with a bottle cap means that this shit is not that solid.
and then we have the Vans did a whole bunch of damage, so we had to repair. So that also implies that you can break through it.
right.
One of the best characters, by the way.
Yeah, it was
Completely
amazing.
based.
Yeah.
Based 9-year-old.
And he has
Um,
competition. I liked a lot of the characters in this movie.
The little girl was the most based. Jesus, what the fuck?
What the
Oh
fuck?
my god.
Yeah.
Just down on her knees, this little girl in her bedroom in front of a doll's house, hands clasped together. Jesus, what the fuck?
And I just like in the first scene that like I fell in love. They're like, yeah, I took Lance. He could kick both your ass.
One of my
She's talking to the detectives at the beginning.
Another good one is when she's like, "Jesus, if you help me, I'll believe in you." And the Conan line, you
Yeah,
used,
that's.
if you
I had
don't
to, I had to
listen,
step.
then the hell with you.
In the hell with you. That's the vibes I got, man. Like,
Yeah, this
in the
was
hell
like,
with you.
this was a give me what I want, please.
And then her brother's getting the shit kicked out of him, and then she picks up a rock and fucking nails a kid right in the goddamn head.
Yeah, she fucked that guy up.
And
Well,
it's interesting, and it's interesting too, is because like she does get that hit because she does have a fucking rock and a running start, but she actually doesn't turn the tide of the fight. Like they still both get their asses kicked.
Oh yeah, it's like
Yeah,
one
but
of the
that-
bigger kids sees this little girl's like just joined the fight. He's not gonna like give her the same beating he's given this other guy who he clearly has beef with, but he grabs her, fucking kicks her in the face, and it's like, yeah, she's done.
And
Like that's it.
that kid who got hit with the rock, he's gonna need some help there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that kid needed a fucking hospital. He used at least concussed. That shit was brutal. And it kind of
Yeah.
loops back around to just because, repeating things that we say immediately after the movie because we can't hold ourselves and we want to talk about things fucking immediately. The way this movie shows the 70s for better and worse. So you get all the like the nostalgic shit where all the clothes, the cars, the buildings, everything looks very 70s, maybe a little bit cleaner in a lot of cases, but very immersive that way. But also the less glamorous parts, it's not sanitized at all. Like the bullies, when they're actually confronting the kid they're bullying, they're just straight up throwing slurs at him. And you see
Oh,
that
yeah.
in full effect. And when you get a fight outside of the school, it stops when the kids see blood. Like this kid got his nose fucking busted. But they don't take it so far as to do the Stephen King thing where he would often exaggerate this aspect of that era to the point where you've got, as Jake so wonderfully put it, roaming bands of savages hunting down nerds.
Well, yeah,
And
in
sacrificing
fucking-
them to the clown spider god.
Well, yeah, in it, the bullies are like, "Oh yeah, we're just gonna carve our name into your fucking stomach," and it's like, "Oh my god."
I mean,
Yeah.
it has like special circumstances because of like the Derry syndrome thing. But even then, it was part of a pattern in the way he depicted the whole era.
Yeah.
What was that other movie where you got the same kind of thing? Was oh, Stand by Me. Like the bullies in Stand by Me were just straight up fucking sociopaths.
Yeah, they were fucking crazy.
Even the bullies in Carrie were fucking weird. It was like, oh yeah, we're just
Yeah,
gonna dump
and that's kind
fucking
of what I
pig's
mean.
blood on somebody. It's like, okay.
It would always be exaggerated to this psychotic level when the point they were trying to get across was just that it was brutal. And this just shows it brutal in a very grounded, real way that you can think, yeah, that absolutely fucking sucks, but I fully get that that's just what life was then.
Yeah.
And that goes for a lot of things in this movie, including the dad, who I think is going to be a whole topic unto himself because
Yeah.
good fucking lord, the way they depict an abusive dad in this movie is very important in the way it ties into everything going on with, the main plot, but also just on its own, it fucking hits, man. Like
It
it is
has
very real.
has a surprising level of nuance that I wouldn't expect from a modern production.
Oh, dude, he gets like so much fucking character development for the few scenes that he's in.
Yeah.
Like he's probably one of the most fleshed out characters in the whole goddamn thing. It's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like he loves his kids, and he has like obviously he's like an alcoholic because like the mom killed herself. Doesn't excuse any of the shit that he does, but by the end he's literally just begging for forgiveness because he finally has his son back.
Well, you learn so much through him. Like you learn about the wife's death and the suicide, but also he alludes to she did something unforgivable,
Yeah.
Yeah, the
before she
dreams were
killed
telling her
herself.
to do things, terrible things, and he's just so fucking terrified that that will happen to his daughter as well, that it fucking throws him into an emotional tizzy. And because he's not a very good person and has the problems that he has, the way he deals with that is getting drunk and trying to beat it out of her. So you don't excuse it, but you can understand it. And
Yeah,
that
fair.
level of nuance is something you do not see often.
No, because it would just be no, he's bad, very bad, and that's it.
Well, if it was modern Hollywood, it would be he's bad because he's white and male. That's just
Yeah.
it.
Oh, but this is modern Hollywood.
Yeah,
See, like,
under good writers, that's the very big key here.
oh
I think
yeah,
better phrasing would just be a lesser movie would have ended with this film having him get some comeuppance rather than it just being a diegetic part of the world that is part of that character.
Right.
Like other lesser movies would have had some scene where based girl fucking hits him with a bottle or something like that.
Mhm.
See, and after the first time I watched it, I was kind of expecting something like that, but not from her. I was expecting it to come from Finn.
yeah,
Because
Yeah,
even during the infamous whipping scene, you can kind of tell that even though he doesn't make a move, he very much wants to protect his sister in that scene.
that
yeah.
is
And
one of
he's
those things I meant when I said it was very real. It's like the powerlessness of having an abusive parent is you want to do something, but when you're a kid, your parents are literal fucking titans. You can't
Yeah.
do anything.
And
And
I do
that
like.
shit hits.
Okay, maybe not say I like, but I do appreciate how it doesn't go into the more darker territories when it comes to abusive parents, if you know what I mean. It just she's
Well, because
fuck. This is gonna sound bad, but like he just beats her.
but it's because the thing
Wow.
is like it's because he's kind of
Wow.
it's,
Hold on, no, we can't skip over that. Wow.
Well,
That's
it
why I
is
thought
worth
I was
bringing
gonna
up
say.
for
fuck?
more than just the dad as well, because this was an abusive kind of parent that was just way more common. You do have a darker thing that you could have done if you were going to make this a movie about that and explore the darkest thing you could. But this, much like I said with the bullies, feels a lot more grounded and real to what a lot of people just lived with.
I said it was gonna sound bad, but I didn't know how else to put it.
And we also get that with the serial killer as well. I was worried that that kind of darkness was going to come up with him because, let's be honest, with serial killers, for some fucking reason, it's almost always a fucking sex thing. I don't get it.
Yeah.
They kind of alluded to it a little bit when he's like, I was just looking at you. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna
there's a
make
little
you
bit
do
there.
anything you won't like.
and him at the
Yeah,
front,
that as well. That
and him at the top
there's
of
like
the
little
stairs,
hints.
ready to.
Also, the second phase of Naughty Boy is his favorite. Mm,
Yeah, not to
Mm.
mention when he was at the top of the stairs, he wasn't wearing a shirt. Was it for the first one or the second time it showed
First,
us?
it was the first time because
It-
it is the first time he leaves the door open and Finn isn't aware that it's a trap. Whereas, like, obviously, the grabber fully understands this is phase one of the Naughty Boy game, and he's got his fucking tits out. So Ghost Boy's like, "Ayo, no, it's not worth it, man."
Ugh.
Yeah, saves him from getting the beating of a lifetime.
Yeah. Although there was a very neat thing that happened there when Finn was warned that it would be a beating, but because of everything he's had to deal with, he's just about not afraid of that enough that he goes up and he checks before going back down.
Yeah, he
Like you
pushes
can kind
the
of very
boundaries.
accurately gauge his level of gumption when it comes to that based on what he's gone through.
Yeah.
It's very real to his character based on what we've seen.
I really enjoyed Finn as a character, especially after not getting through the freezer, and he just fucking breaks down.
Yeah. And
It
that's
made it
when
feel.
Sorry, Ninja.
It made it feel like they saved Robin for last for a reason, not just
Yeah.
because of his connection with Finn, but just that he was the only one out of the bunch that would be able to pick him up out of that dark spot and be like, get on your feet and do what you need to do. And that speech that he gives Finn, fuck man, that's some heavy shit for coming from like a fucking teen, it's like Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
I don't
even
know
Yeah.
now,
what acting class he went to between his two scenes, but in the bathroom, he was acting like he's on the fucking Disney Channel. He comes into the basement, he's a fucking Oscar winner. What the shit happened?
I want a good chunk of
Death
these
will change you,
kids
apparently.
I want a good chunk of these kids to keep acting. They're doing a good job.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, like
Stay away from drugs.
like I said, early the tough kid Robin, not a good actor for that scene, but he muddled through. But then at the end, yeah, he fucking nailed it, and
Yeah, and
all of
also,
the other kids nailed it. I think.
I was gonna say, like we talked about the whipping scene, but it's like, dude, like half of that scene is the daughter selling that like she's really getting hit, and that's what
Oh,
makes it
she was
really.
acting her heart out.
Yeah.
It fucking really sells it, like, and it's like, oh, this is a really fucking uncomfortable scene to watch.
Mm.
Yeah, I did watch some of the like extras on the Blu-ray, and apparently that scene was very hard for the guy who played Finn and the guy who played the dad. Like they kept checking on her to be like, "Holy shit, are you okay?" Like,
That's terrible. I mean, that's great, but like, oh,
but I
that's
mean, she was
yeah.
selling it like so hard that they were like, "Oh, holy shit,
Why do
this
I
is really
She has to keep turning
uncomfortable."
around. It's like, no, guys, I'm acting. We're making a movie. Remember?
Well,
It's like, okay, yeah.
I'm curious.
And it's like,
I recognize the
and
little
then
girl.
Balder was like, "Are you sure? I thought you'd be bigger."
Mm.
If you play,
Yeah,
if
that
you
at the
play,
very end is like, I thought he'd be bigger. It's like, yeah, no, fair.
no, I was just saying because fucking the guy who plays the dad is Balder from the newest God of War.
Oh.
Is he?
Yeah,
I mean, I know he looks like him, but is he?
no, that's
Oh,
like
that's
that's
where I've heard him from.
yes,
That's why he sounded so familiar.
that's yeah, he's the voice actor and what's the word? Facial
And motion
whatever.
capture.
Mocap.
Yeah, motion capture. Like they motion captured his face and everything. That's why he kind of looks like him too.
Did they mocap or did they just put him into the fucking thing like Tron?
You know,
He looks
I don't know.
exactly the same.
I mean, those games have black magic to fucking make them so good. So I don't know. Maybe.
I thought you'd be bigger.
I thought you'd be bigger.
Long way from home, I see.
Yeah, but that's the dad is
Yeah, I'm
Balder.
almost glad I didn't recognize him because seeing him as Balder this whole movie would have changed a few things.
It changed a lot. That's the thing. I didn't know it until because I was like, because I also was the same way. We were riding home from the theater. I was like, what's the dad? He looks so familiar. And like the first thing that popped up was Balder, God of War 4, and it's like, oh, okay.
So I thought I recognized the actress that played the little girl. I thought it was the same one from Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Very much not.
Oh, okay.
Because that whole like, we're acting. You okay?
I'm
It was just
acting.
very.
Fuckface.
It was just a very uncomfortable scene for them to film for obvious
Right.
reasons.
Oh yeah, because it was done so well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of what you
Speaking
want.
of the Blu-ray, you said there was post-credit scene in the Blu-ray.
Yeah,
Well,
there were post credit scenes in the Blu-ray. Swear to God.
so what were they?
Basically, there was a scene with the dad. It was the little girl came into the room and talked to the dad. This was like after Finn had been rescued and come home and stuff.
Okay.
And then there was another one that I don't remember because I only caught bits and pieces of it because I full on was not expecting there to be post credit scenes on this.
Right.
And I'm pretty sure Max even told me there wasn't, and so I like wasn't paying attention for them, and then they came on, and I was like, what the fuck? But apparently they don't exist according to fucking weird news journalist websites, so whatever, fucking.
And they weren't on the Amazon Prime version either.
Yeah. Well, maybe they would be if you did the buy instead of the rent. You got to do the pay your dues.
Well, no, that's kind of one of the things I hate the most about like the transition from mainly being physical to streaming services. Finding behind the scenes stuff, I guess you could just look them up on YouTube, but I'd rather they be part of like I don't know, like a file list. Like if you buy like say Lord of the Rings, the extended edition on Prime, you should still get a lot of all that bonus material that comes with those gigantic physical copies.
I really do miss DVD commentaries, to be 100% honest. I really love listening to like that shit. I know it's a very weird, autistic thing to enjoy, but like that's why I found out all that like inside shit about Tropic Thunder is because you listen to the fucking actors talk about all the stupid shit they were.
I mean, how else are you gonna figure out through Zack Snyder whether or not something was CGI or not?
Exactly.
You also got to go to his Twitter as to find out why Darkseid and his entire species forgot a fucking planet.
Yeah, that too.
Oh, not just a planet. The most important planet in their entire
right.
history as a people.
His literally, his literal motivation as a fucking character.
No one decided to go, ah, crap, Darkseid's gone. Earth 3, 4, 5, 7. All right, let's go. Apparently, they got lost in they got like lost in like Darkseid hadn't found it or thought to find it. They apparently don't have filing cabinets.
Just put it down on a sticky note.
Yeah, we'll remember it. We'll remember it later.
A YouTube
sorry,
annotation.
sir. Remembering planets was Jerry's job, and you ejected him out the airlock last week.
God damn it, Jerry! Find his corpse and shoot at it.
But back on a good movie.
Yeah.
Did we ever get like a point of reference for what the time lapse was between the kids?
No, anytime it faded to black, we know some time has passed with Bruce, because Finn mentions, oh, it's a new one. Mr.
Yeah,
Yamada
the
must have put
dad
up a
had
new
been
one.
putting up. He put up posters. They'd been up long enough to go like old or worn or tattered in some way, so he put up new ones. So
Yeah.
a couple months maybe.
Pretty much every time it cuts to Finn and his sister walking home from school, it's been at least a week because she always says it's Friday. I'm going over to Susie's.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, okay. So
there you go.
we're
Sure,
gonna ballpark it out about a week.
It's just done very subtly, It's like, and that's what I was saying in the
Tiddles
beginning.
Trouble
It's such fast pace because we are skipping a lot of time in between those events. Like we are getting right down to it's like, okay, Bruce went missing, and then within probably a couple weeks, it's like, okay, the next kid went missing. And it just spirals quickly from there. But we get right down to business.
Yeah, once Finn gets taken.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing about also putting it in the 70s, we don't need to just point out how you're falling for horror movie tropes. It's like, oh, it's the 70s. Like Stranger Danger was a thing, right? By the time, like, as a
Not
policy,
so much. Like that became a thing because there were cases like this throughout the 60s and 70s. Because remember, that is the era of serial killers. That's where a lot of them came from. And sad reality is, a lot of the things they were able to do was because people were a lot more trusting back then.
Yeah.
They didn't have decades worth of serial killers and a 24-hour news cycle to constantly scare them into being paranoid.
Yeah,
Mhm.
CNN was a mistake. But
I
that's
don't,
irrelevant.
I don't know, dude. Like this, like I said, like
I don't
the
know.
alternative is just kids getting fucking snatched up every fucking day. It's like, okay, hang on.
No. I just said CNN was a mistake. I never said 24-hour
that's-
news cycles was
the
a
problem
mistake.
with
No,
24-hour
24-hour news was a mistake.
No, that's true.
I do
It
kind of
is
think
just
the
not
24-hour
healthy.
news cycle
No.
was a bit of a problem, only because it's just this constant feeding of just what the worst of humanity.
True.
24-hour news cycle and none of it is good news. That's just not a way to live.
Yeah, you don't hear like Kazuki Takahashi, he died saving children from drowning. You never hear that on the news.
Yeah, you don't hear
No.
that shit.
You hear he was a degenerate weeb on the news. It's like, oh.
I mean, that's true.
Hang on, you can't say weed, man. That's a slur.
But it's also not
Yeah.
news.
Yeah.
fucking weeb.
That's the weird thing about the new Cyberpunk shows that like you calling me a weeb, man? That's a slur. It's like shut your mouth.
Are you fucking?
shut
Hold on.
Fuck.
Hold on.
What
Are you
the fuck?
fucking kidding me? Is this real? What
That was
Yeah, I
one
thought-
particular guy. It wasn't like actually a fucking trend.
I know, but
Okay.
still,
All right.
the
because
fucking
if-
thing like went off on him though. So
Like
Yeah.
weeb. Oh, that's a slur. Shut up, you choom.
well,
Well,
it's not a
choom
slur.
isn't an insult.
Choom is
Choom is
choom is almost used in the same way that like Australians use cunt. It's almost like a term of endearing.
not even. It's
Bruh. Choom
Kind
dead
of-
ass.
well, you know how like the N word is used by people who are allowed to use it for one another. That's kind of how
Yeah.
choom is used. Yeah.
Oh my god, that is one way to phrase it. Alright.
What's up, choom? Come on, choom.
What
on,
up, my
Choom?
chooms?
Oh my god.
See what I mean? When you start using it like that, it actually sounds accurate.
Sounds
how
like a
it's used.
slur. Well, still.
No, kind of a slur, but it's actually for friends. A
Yeah,
slur
that's
for
fine.
friends. There you
And,
go.
and like in like the hard R version is choum.
Chow.
Chow.
Choum.
No,
Chow.
It would be choomer.
What up, my choomers?
Oh, with the hard R, Susan. We're sorry.
No.
No,
Hard chuff.
freaking David's like, whoa, the hard R,
No.
that's totally not Nova.
No, he
Hard
goes.
M.
No, he just goes.
Hard.
Oh man. Ninja, you need to watch Cyberpunk so we can cover that because that shit's fucking great.
You've got 4 people all telling you to do it.
It is pretty good.
It's pretty good. All right. Anyway, but back to the back to this one. God, like just because I remember even like seeing like showing y'all the trailer like so long ago. Hey, this movie looks pretty cool, and I don't like horror movies, but this looks pretty nice. And it's like, what was the thing? It was supposed to come out. It was supposed to come out earlier this year. Apparently, its release date is 2021, by the way, which baffles me. But it was supposed to release earlier this year, and it got pushed back. And I think it
Do
was
we know
Slur. And I think it was Slur. We don't know why, but Slur, you were the one who said it's like, oh, that's a red flag because that usually means the studio doesn't have any faith in it.
And I think it was because of what they pushed it back from. I'd have to remember like the context because pushing a movie back, depending on why you do it, can tell you something about how the studio is looking at it. So if they push a movie back because of a bunch of reshoots, not a good sign. You know, it used to be one of those kind of innocuous things. Oh, you know, every movie gets reshoots. And then Suicide Squad and a bunch of other things. And now we're just like, okay, reshoots, probably a red flag at this point. We don't trust them anymore.
That's fair.
And then if you push a movie back from summer, that's very strange because summer is like big movie release season. So if
Well, this
you're
was like-
putting it out, you just don't trust it to compete with the other movies that are coming out during summer. So you move it to autumn when nothing is coming out, so it will have less competition. However, because this is a horror movie, pushing it to October would make sense.
Well, it got pushed to August. It was a fall movie.
Well, autumn in general is kind of spooky season.
Gotcha.
So yeah, and then you get it on streaming things. So we are watching it in October, for example. So that makes sense to me for this. Whereas something else, if it was an action movie, something that seems like it would come out in summer and it gets pushed to autumn, bad sign. It means they don't want this thing to have competition. And then you have Christmas where it picks up again because everybody's taking the kids out to the cinema. It's big family togetherness time, and lots of shit comes out during Christmas.
If
And
I
then
remember correctly,
Yes,
it
so
was
impressive,
ori-
big fucking engine, Christ.
I think when we originally saw the trailers, it was set to release in like January or February, which is pretty much where movies go to die.
Yeah.
And it
Yeah.
got pushed
The
back to
death
August.
slot. The January death slot.
And that's kind of what I mean. Is like in January, nothing comes out in January. So if you're putting it out in January, you're expecting nobody to see it.
Okay, well that's fair. Well, like I said, I'm pleasantly surprised that like I got hyped up for the trailer and the movie lived up to the expectations. It was
I
pretty fucking solid.
I was blown away because I didn't like the trailer, to be honest.
Really?
It looked very generic modern horror movie, and for the I don't know,
I don't know if
so,
that's accurate.
movie
Yeah.
taste of somebody that rewatches Predator way too many times.
Yeah. Same.
But the thing is, like, I felt like it was a pretty neat concept for like what it was, and then I found out that it was based on a short story, so that could potentially play into why it was like really well written because it wasn't the person. Oh, and that was another thing too is and created the movie. Do you guys know who made the movie?
Nope.
Other
Nope.
than the studio Bloomhouse, no.
It's Stephen King's son.
What?
Wow. Okay.
Is he just as
Yeah.
cooked up as his dad?
I mean, probably. But it was an interesting thing. I remember looking it up and finding out. Oh, it's like horror movies may not be like in the trash. You know what I mean? Because a lot of modern day horror movies, like Slur said at the beginning of this, they pretty much suck. Like just straight up. But
Very often, it's unfortunate.
yeah, and it's like it's just one of those things where it's like, no, hang on, there might be something here, and especially coming from a Blumhouse movie as well. Like they said, like no things working for it, but it still managed to come out and be a really fucking great movie.
I'm trying to see
But yeah.
which son you're talking about, because I googled Stephen King's. Oh, it was Joe Hill.
Yep. He doesn't even go by Stephen. He doesn't even go by King or whatever. He goes by middle name. Is what it was. Very based. Doesn't want to
Stephen
suckle
Hill
on
King.
daddy's tip. Stephen.
Is it Stephen Hill King? Because that sounds like kind of a cool name.
I think so.
Stephen, King of the Hill.
King of the Hill.
Oh God.
Us sell Pennywise and Pennywise accessories.
Yeah, this guy's
Stop.
made a pretty decent film collection, or at the very least I've heard of. So he's made Black Phone, and then there's Horns, which is that Daniel Radcliffe, him turning into the devil movie.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Oh, sorry. Okay. I don't think he directed it. I have to look it up
He
again.
was the writer.
But he wrote the story, the original like short story, Black Phone. The Black Phone. Sorry.
Yeah,
The
I'll
Black Phone is the story. Black Phone is the movie. Or, I don't know, fuck, whatever.
I'll need to
But-
read it. I really like a lot of horror short stories. One of them being oh damn it, what's the name of it? It was a story about an astronaut trying to get back to his lunar base, and the suit was basically consuming him alive, so he could keep walking.
Gravity.
Yeah.
Ah, fuck.
Was there
What
anything
was that Irish movie?
Slur, you said that you might have found like a kind of a flaw. What was?
Yeah.
Something
Was
that,
that?
bugs me a little bit. Okay,
Alright, let's
so
hear it.
Grabber sees Finn. Grabber's doing his grabbing thing, and he starts a grabbing. But Finn, he's got his like rocket
Flashlight.
pocket flashlight thingy, and he doesn't want to be grabbed. He's not into the grabbing, so he's like fucking. He stabs him in the arm. The grabber's like, "Ow, fuck, my arm." You can keep the rocket though, even though I'm very probably going to have to try and grab you again during everything that's about to happen. And you're probably going to try and use it again because you're still not a fan of the grabbing.
That is actually a good point.
Little odd.
Yeah.
Little odd, yeah. And it's something that I didn't even clock at first until he started using that to do other things. And like, should you have that? Feels like you
Yeah.
shouldn't have that.
The
You actually have a real good point there.
I don't know if it's a flaw, but when the brother comes down, he's like, "You want to hear a story about how I found you?"
No,
Well,
that
I mean,
was
the
gonna
man
be
was
my,
on a lot of cocaine, so
Yeah,
that
there is-
actually
that was
tracks.
that was
He
actually
was-
gonna be my that was actually gonna be my like thing I kind of hate about the movie is just Max's whole character. It's like feel like the movie would actually be stronger if he just wasn't there.
I kind of think so too.
Yeah, and it's like but the
maybe.
problem is he's very important because he's the reason why the grabber doesn't kill Finney immediately.
Yeah,
It's because
he's kind of the reason that Finn's entire scenario is not quite like the other kids, which helps to
Yep.
explain why he's the one who ends up getting away, on top
Right.
of having the power of ghost friends.
Mhm.
Because if Finn, he failed during that final confrontation, and the grabber somehow lives up to his promise of killing him very slowly and very painfully, etc., with a fucking axe. If he somehow manages to do that, Finn dies, and the grabber continues his grabbing. He
Mhm.
goes on, he grabs another kid, and then Finn is now one of the ghosts. Like, that is a completely viable way that this could have played out.
Right.
But the reason it didn't, and one of the big contributions to why this whole thing was different for him, yeah, you need the brother there. The brother is what was different about this thing, which in real life cases of serial killers and abductions and everything, why was this one different is very often how they end up catching them.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I also thought it was the implication that the brother also had like some of the quote unquote the power. That's why he was able to hear the kids.
What?
Uh,
No, the brother didn't.
I
hear
don't
the kids.
know.
Well, because like
No.
like I said, the because it is just straight up supernatural bullshit that they could hear the ghosts of the children. You know what I mean?
But yeah, we actually haven't even touched on the supernatural bullshit. We'll do it in a second.
Yeah, but like I always like because like I mean there's no supporting evidence that the other kids didn't hear the phone, so I guess
Yeah, there
there's
is.
that.
There's a
but-
line
No,
in the
yeah, they
movie.
say at the beginning.
Yeah,
Oh.
the
There's
other
a line
kids
about
never heard
it.
it.
Yeah. The phone was ringing for the others, but you're the first one who could hear it.
Well, okay, so
Yeah.
there's that
And then the grabber can hear it too, but he doesn't want to believe it. And the implication is that the grabber's dad beat the ever living shit out of him because he was having crazy dreams and hearing dead people and shit.
Mhm.
Yeah,
You know,
he even
drawing a
says
little parallel right there.
because apparently he was also locked in down there for some undisclosed
Yeah.
amount of time.
It's when I was down here, the phone rang, and was there someone on the other end? And the way the grabber, like, fucking eye twitch, no, there wasn't.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, the implications there are that, like, he was in Finn's position. And going back to just fucking serial killer psychology, yeah, he's putting the kids through the game of Naughty Boy, which is very probably a play out of what happened to him.
Mhm.
Cycles of abuse, etc.
So was the implication when like Griffin was telling him like you're not playing the game, so you can't go to his favorite part? Was that implying that like he would that the grabber was gonna kill him sooner
Well,
than the others?
The
or-
implication there was that if Finn did the thing, if he went up and he got phase 1 of Naughty Boy, which is to be beaten to a pulp with a belt, if he did that, the next stage would be like his favorite part, which we assume is the killing part. And then,
potentially
yeah,
worse
so
shit.
the fact that he wasn't playing along, and the fact that he actually heeded the warning from, I think it was Paperboy that told him not to go up, I
Mhm.
think that actually did buy him a good amount of time. But
Okay.
because of the way the grabber is, and because the grabber wants to do the game of Naughty Boy, he's going to constantly do things to make Finn disobedient. Like he did that shit with the newspaper. And
Mhm.
like, you're getting into like the psychology of a very obviously fucked up person. So how much things make sense is less important than how consistent it is to what he wants.
I was going to
So
ask, do you think if Finn had been truthful, would the grabber had actually let him go?
It's impossible.
no,
It's impossible to
I don't
know.
think so. I think he would have come up with some other reason to keep him down,
Yeah.
or some other way to try and get, because he's playing the game. The
Right.
grabber is doing his thing. He's going to play along. He's going to say things. And even if on some level he thinks that he does have the capacity to let the kid go, I don't think it's something that would ever actually happen.
I really like
It
that
would just-
mask.
Because the grabber is like, he's crazy, but he's not
On Amazon.
stupid. They don't use his insanity or whatever to justify him making stupid decisions.
No,
Mhm.
yeah. In fact, most of the time he's very lucid. It's only when he's like relaxed or he's let his guard down a little bit that you start seeing like the fucking cuckoo clock. The rest of the time he's fucking sinister as shit.
Yeah. But yeah, he has like 2 different versions of like the lower mask, doesn't he? The
He's got
smile.
Yeah,
three.
Yeah, the happy
The,
one and the sad one, and the sad one is obviously when he's like he's disappointed in you, and oh no,
He also
you've
has a
been a
third
naughty
one.
boy.
The third one is just blank, no mouth.
Yeah, that's the one he had at first when they
Right.
didn't know each other yet, and he had only just taken him.
Yeah. The mask on Amazon has all those sections shit like that. So if you really want one, I think it's there. I was thinking about doing it because it's like I said, it's a pretty cool design.
You could practically do a
But-
digital version of the black phone. I almost said of the blackface of the black phone.
Of the black.
Oh no!
Whoa,
Dude, that fuck.
Is that fucking
is that fucking
black?
blackface? Okay.
No, I'm a literal forest demon.
Get the fuck out of here!
Get the fuck out, duh.
Good
Sorry.
job, Pip. You saved Halloween.
If you haven't seen Smiling Friends, go fucking do it. But no, the supernatural element, that's obviously a big part of this whole movie, because literally it's the other half of the story. Half of the story is Finney. The other half is what the fuck was her name? What was sister's name?
Oh,
I
Gwen.
actually don't remember.
Gwen.
Okay.
Gwen. So like
Gwent.
the other half of the story, what?
Nothing. I was fucking with Slur, trying to say Gwent.
Okay. Gwent. But the other half of the story is like her, like trying to find her brother. So ipso facto, it's still a big part of it as well. Slur, you had something to say about the supernatural?
Well, just that I think ghost mechanics are something that very often just gets brushed over.
Mm-hmm.
This and Blind Manor are 2 things that just immediately come to mind as things that do them very fucking well. Because you get that first phone call and you can kind of tell that Bruce, the baseball boy,
Mm-hmm.
he's like drifting in and out of lucidity, and he's got this kind of ghost brain. Your name is one of the first things to go. Things drift in and out, and he kind of like he gets caught in like these loops. Like, why did you call me? It's like your arm is mint. It's like, whatever it is he's latching onto as a memory to try and focus, he's like he's trapped in it and he can't get out. It's like kind of like this weird senile thing where his
Yeah.
brain just doesn't work quite right. And okay, that's fairly normal ghostiness stuff, they ain't quite right, what with the being dead and all. But then
Well,
it actually develops further, because Paperboy was actually a lot more lucid, but also in a different way. Paperboy actually didn't want to remember his name. Like he found it, like, distracting. It's like, no, just call me Paperboy. I need to tell you something. So where the name helped Bruce latch onto a memory, and that kind of helped him hang on, for Paperboy, latching onto a memory would have taken him out of the moment. So different people handle that differently. It's only when we get to Vance that you actually see it from the ghost's perspective as to why that is because the ghost is in like this weird memory loop where it's not quite accurate to what happened. So when Vance knocks the guy down and he carves something into his arm, what he carves into his arm is the house address, which isn't going to become relevant to him until later because it's a memory. It doesn't follow normal time rules. That's something else that links this memory to the memory of the house. When really what he probably carved into that dude's arm was the word Vance or
Mhm.
cuntwad, either or. And so when you see it from Vance's perspective, and you actually see the way Vance is responding to Finn being on the radio, and it's like, today's the day, motherfucker, and he kicks the gate, and you see all that from his perspective. Suddenly, the weird loop thing the ghosts seem to be in, or the way they seem to be responding to things a bit weird, or saying things that don't seem necessarily relevant to the situation of the conversation. Now we have a very good explanation for why that is. Almost nothing goes into that kind of detail or makes the supernatural element make sense in that kind of a solid way. Because now, even the other ones that we didn't see, like Paperboy, or the other kid, the one who kept laughing, we are never shown what he's laughing at or why. But now that we've seen Vance, we can understand, it's like, okay, that's just a part of whatever fucking loop he's seeing from his perspective. And so it just fills it in blanks backwards because now we have a solid understanding of how the mechanic works, which is super fucking neato.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
I was
Did
kind of
anybody?
half expecting, like, when the grabber's kind of on the brink of death, right? He like sees all of the other kids, and like they literally just like basically drag his soul out of his body as he dies.
That would have been so much fucking overkill. I
That
couldn't.
I
would have
know,
been.
but that was what I was expecting. I thought that was gonna happen. It didn't, which
Yeah, I was gonna say that'd be pushing him a little bit.
Because what actually happened, where you just get like little snippets of each of their loops that just
Mhm.
happens to be relevant to right now, which
Right.
Yes.
then also ties into like the fucking prophetic dream thing happening, the power of Jesus.
What
Like,
the fuck, Jesus?
Fuck.
yeah,
It's a great
Little
line.
Gwen is just absolutely based.
Yeah.
Great.
My brother's getting the shit kicked out of him. I'm gonna. Oh yeah. Well, rock.
Rock
Beats
beats child,
scissors.
bitch.
rock beats child.
It literally did.
It did. It's like, oh, it
Yeah,
is super effective.
I was gonna say it's
Who would've
Gwen's
thought?
just sitting next to the kid that she hit with the fucking rock. And they just look at each other for a second. Like, yeah, happens.
Although, one thing that I kind of liked is that like they kind of did the whole thing where it's like you had the police raiding the house, and then you also had the big climax, and it's like, oh, they're doing the thing where it's not really the house, he moved, and it's like, no, it is the thing, just in a different way. It's just across from the house where Finn is being kept.
Which
Mhm.
also kind of makes sense for her having the dreams, because her dreams seem to be tied to the dead.
Yeah, which
But
that
that
was
was a nice payoff.
Well, wasn't the implication that it was Vance's house?
No,
Um,
the grabber owned both houses.
yeah.
You
Well,
get
right,
that
but
at the very end
when
with
the
the police.
police took him home or took him, like they let him out there.
Yeah, but that's because Vance got out of the car in the memory, headed straight towards the killer, saying,
Yeah.
"Today's the day, motherfucker."
Yeah.
I don't think the
But he
police
didn't
stopping
head
there
to
was
the
a part of
killer. He
his.
headed to the where the dead bodies are.
Ah, yeah. I
They
don't know. I
might
think
have.
him heading there might have been more of a vision thing for her.
Yeah.
It's weird because this is actually like her dream, but she's seeing his memory loop. And it also could just be a ghost thing where at the end of the ghost's memory loop, they end up where they died.
Yeah.
Could be.
Maybe. That's one of the things where they just don't go into explicit detail, which is probably ultimate to its benefit.
Yeah,
Because
Which
of
I
because
over
thought how
explaining.
the dogs in this film were fucking useless, man.
Yeah, that dog didn't really do anything.
mhm.
yeah.
Another moment
Why?
of
What?
Finn being smart. He
No,
just
no, no, no. Hold on. You're talking about the wrong dog. Like, yes, that dog did nothing, but Remember the golden retriever that was with the paper
Oh yeah,
boy?
that was a little weird.
That was so strange with the dog. Yeah, it's just like, oh no, it's taking the paper boy. Stop it. Stop. Oh no, come back.
Well, no, knowing Goldens, they'd probably come with. That's the problem. They're a very weird breed.
They're too friendly. Whereas if he had the good
They're
old
pretty protective as well, and that's the thing. Like, it basically let him take the boy and didn't seem to be perturbed in one way or the other.
Yeah, it's just like just a big buffering icon over its head.
Now, if it was a husky, there would be absolutely no getting away with the child because the entire neighborhood would know.
If it was a German Shepherd, it'd be missing a quarter of his face.
Oh, if it's a German Shepherd, he'd be dead.
No,
I do like the small detail of like when Finn actually gets out and he chases him down, like people turn on their porch lights because they hear the commotion, they hear the screaming. And
Yeah.
Presumably they look out the windows, they're kind of checking around, but then they just turn the lights off and go back to bed.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah, when they don't see anything, they kind of tuck in. But like the fact that Finn A did the smart thing, which is just run down the street, make noise. If you see a front door, run to it, even if it's a complete stranger. Just alert people. And yeah, he fucking gave it a good go. Didn't work, but you know, the fact that he tried is a very good touch.
Right.
Oh, I also like with I wrote my bike lock combination on the wall. It's like he's like going over the different combination of numbers it could be because it wasn't like the actual combination, it was just the numbers of which it could be.
Yes.
Yeah, he asks good questions.
Yes.
Yeah, he's like, is it this, or this? He's like, I don't know. Could be any of them. Try them all.
Yeah, it's almost like a movie can be logically consistent and also get the emotional resonance at the same time. You don't need to sacrifice one
I
for
also
the other.
appreciated the logical detail of like he gets frustrated because it could be like any of these three numbers, but he still tells the kid thanks. He doesn't go, well, thanks for nothing, or like says some shitty snide remark. It's like, no, he actually appreciates the help.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like, yeah, thank you. You still gave me information I didn't have previously.
Yeah,
Right.
you gave it your best shot. But
Yeah.
like, I'm not gonna be shitty to the dead kid. It's like being shitty to the disabled kid, but somehow worse.
Just one rung below, right? So you have the disabled kids and then the dead kids right under them.
It's like making fun of the disabled kid, but worse. I mean, by definition, yeah, you are right. It's like fucking hell, dude. Oh my god. It's so fucked. I love it.
Well, at least
Slurred
I'm
never
alive, paper boy. You can't pedal your bike anymore.
Hangs up phone.
It's like, oh yeah, Vans, cuntwad. At least I can breathe.
Click.
It's like, oh, welcome to your fucking nightmare, you little shit. I'm gonna.
I did like the phone rings. It's for you.
It's a good one.
To bring up the another moment of Finn being smart. Yeah, he needs to get past this dog. Oh, he had just broken into a freezer. Here's a steak.
Here's a stick.
Specifically, it's the steak he actually took out of the, so it's somewhat thawed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just frozen solid because the dog wouldn't probably go for that.
Yeah.
I mean,
it might go for it, but it probably would just kind of go, oh, this is a bit too tough, or who knows, maybe it would try and just chew on it.
I'd say, but that's the point. Is though, like he throws it down, the dog goes for a second, he just walks by it because remember it's chained up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He just literally walks out. Later, bitches.
Yeah, then we get fucking punished Finn. Now, I will say, at the end of this movie, he's a little bit more victory lap than lifelong trauma, which maybe not super realistic, but I get it. You know, narratively.
Call me Finn. Credits.
Yeah. Exactly.
Call me FN 217.
Fucking big 80s sunglasses. Fucking guitar riff introduced.
Power of Love may as well start playing.
Well, that's always like I posted in the Discord.
Okay, but
that's what I posted.
Get what they were going for.
Yes,
right?
I do.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, is the confidence boost. Like he used to be unsure of himself and afraid of everything, and now that it's like he's the motherfucker who actually lived and who killed the grabber, and so he's literally sitting down next to the girl he's been crushing on, and she speaks to him first, which is significant, and he's like, you know what?
That's right, baby. What's up?
You're gonna call me Finn. Like we're gonna make a go of this. Like, and it's not. It's satisfying in that way. It's like it's not over the top like with the glasses, riff, guitar stuffs, but it's just enough for you to see, yes, okay, he did change from this experience. Probably is gonna have tons of trauma and all that bad shit, but there are some positives that came out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a culmination of his arc.
Exactly.
He's probably never gonna eat eggs with salt and pepper again.
No, the fuck he's not.
Like
Now,
I remember,
especially after he was scooping it off the ground because he was that hungry.
did I say it to just Ninja or did I say it to the group chat? But I was like, man, anytime I put salt and pepper into my eggs, I get like a little uncomfortable. It's like,
No, that's why you put pepper and paprika in your eggs.
what?
That's not a bad combo.
Paprika doesn't.
Although you do need
anything.
salt with eggs.
Yeah,
You need some salt with eggs.
I put garlic salt in my eggs, but
Ooh, nice touch.
Nice.
yeah, and like I said, any bit of garlic I can consume because I live in Florida, and hey, fucking mosquitoes are literal dinosaurs.
Oh, dude, the portions of garlic they fucking put in recipes is
You just
such
said that to
bullshit.
trigger me, didn't
please
you,
put
Mac?
2 cloves of
Oh,
garlic
maybe.
in this entire fucking. But like, motherfucker, you measure that shit with your heart.
Puts entire garlic just on
2
the thing.
bulbs of garlic. Like, if you're making a pot of like chili or stew or something, and you need to serve like 8 fucking people out of this, you're talking 2 whole bulbs. You want to taste garlic.
Or the whole bottle of garlic powder.
Powder? Fucking cringe.
It's garlic salt, yeah.
No,
I mean,
there's
salt
a
is
difference
different because
between
you're
salt
using it
and
as a
powder.
different kind of like condiment.
Yeah,
Oh,
there's
yeah,
garlic
like,
salt and there's garlic powder. They are not the same.
Yeah, there's garlic
Yeah, they are
powder,
not.
onion powder, celery. No, wait, there's celery salt. There's no celery powder that I know.
That
of.
would be literally pointless.
Who's your
Yeah.
favorite character, Wyatt? And go.
My favorite character was Finn.
Korean.
Finn.
God, so vanilla.
You like the vanilla? Oh, you only guess you put Ryu. Okay, good
He-
job.
He never really could arc. What the hell?
I'm fucking with you.
We are kidding. He is a very good and well-written character.
Yes, he has a really awesome arc.
Yeah.
Ninja. Since you said it, who's your favorite character?
I think I would have to go with Robin. That fucking speech that he gives there at the end, like, damn, like even upon rewatch, like it still hits fucking
Yeah.
hard. Like, and you
It
learn
definitely
so
does.
much about his character in just a few small lines. Like, my dad went to Nam and like never came home, and that's why he's kind of the bad outcast kid. It's like he's probably got his own troubles at home that he's dealing with, and it's like, holy shit, like he's basically a side character, and he's more realized than most protagonists we get.
Very much so.
Mine
got your back in
was
death.
either Gwen or Finn. I would say both of them at the same time.
Gotcha. Little Scooby Doo combo.
Yeah. I
Slur,
could just
how
do a
about
fusion dance and be one person then, I guess.
Please stop.
I mean, the kind of meme answer is Vance. Just
Yeah,
he-
that was what I was
not
gonna
really
go for. But...
comic relief exactly, although he is funny. But even though it's not comic, he is kind of just this sudden change in energy that helps break up a lot of like that constant tension.
Yeah.
So you go from the child in the bunker being held by a kidnapper to being called a cuntwad very loudly by the embodiment of 1970s hair metal. It's like it's a lot taken at once, and it is like super refreshing for that point in the movie, especially because that also is a bit of a turning point in terms of we go from, I think that is the beginning of the third act, kind of.
You
So yeah,
think that...
it's just for what he plays
Doesn't
in the
he even
movie.
Doesn't he sort of even supernaturally Team Rocket blasting off again, or am I thinking a different one of the ghosts?
No,
Yeah,
that's him.
no, yeah, he like screams because he wants like revenge, and then
Oh,
he's
yeah,
like
yeah,
sucked away.
So-
It's not about you, cuntwad. But
Yeah, and then
yeah,
just
it's every
"Whoa!"
other ghost at the end of their time, they sort of like lose energy and like it's like, okay, I can't stick around any longer. I'm gonna go. He didn't give a fuck. He was gonna stay there yelling at this fucking child until the forces of undeath pulled him back into his loop.
Well, and I like that
Just-
it's, you always hear about ghosts being referred to as like vengeful spirits, and it's like the stronger their emotional attachment to this world, the more effect they can have on it. And I thought they really did a good job of showcasing that with Vance, because like when he blasts off like that, he has this very physical effect on the room. Like there's that ringing in Finn's ears, like he goes to the floor, the bottles like shatter. I mean, just you can tell he's pissed.
yeah, the rests were ghosts. He was a fucking poltergeist.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like you said, like through like negative emotions, it was kind of like a shitty kid. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
like,
He wasn't even doing it to help Finn. He was doing it to fuck over the guy who killed him.
yeah,
It's just
very big.
pure
Still be
Sigma
some-
activity.
Yeah, that's some powerful motivation right there.
Yeah.
It's like it's not about you, bitch. It's fuck him.
Fucking mad as fuck, dog.
Yeah,
Fuck,
Fucker
dying
was
shit.
mad.
Dying is cringe.
I would also say for like runner-up characters, Terrence is really good, despite his shortcomings.
Which one's
And
Terrence?
the dad.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah. Well, he's kind of good because of his shortcomings. So it's like he's not
Yeah.
a good or likable character, but he is a very well written and well realized one.
Yeah,
Very much
and
so.
then the for meme-tisms, I would say
Say who?
Moose, for the kid from the beginning.
Oh,
Oh,
the one
yeah,
who gets
that-
the absolute fucking shit kicked out of him.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm gonna hit you into the ground like a nail.
It was Russell from
then
Bully.
do it, and then get the fucking shit kicked out of him.
He like fucking Chuck Norris like back spin kicks his ass.
He does. He does that thing where he has him in a headlock over the back of his shoulder.
Yeah, I thought he was gonna do like a freaking hangman's neck breaker. Or,
Yeah, like a fucking fatality. I was like, oh my god, he's watched
But no,
Child Murder
This
earlier.
fucking kid.
Yeah.
No, because
You
he had it.
motherfuckers are in Black Phone. This kid is in Mortal Kombat.
We are not the same.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre is my favorite movie, dog.
What did I last say to you? That I really need to see Texas Chainsaw Massacre? No, before that.
And the thing is, if you listen to that part, kind of giggles. Like it sounds like you know how
Yeah,
people say
it's
I
endearing.
can hear you smile kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's like you can hear him like kind of like break up a little bit, and it just goes into showing. It's like, oh, that's just fucking. That's it. You know what I mean? They're friends.
Yeah.
Right.
It's just one of those little things. It's like that's what he would say to his friend. It's good shit. Like fuck, dude. There's
The
nothing.
power of
There's a
friendship
lot of
doesn't
good shit
have
in this
to be
movie.
cringe. It can work.
It can
really
be based.
Yeah, the power of friendship in this phone I found.
The
Dirt.
power of friendship and incredible violence.
Listen,
Stabs
no one
his
said they
fucking
can't
neck.
be the same thing. Okay.
He fucking strangles.
Well, I mean, Finn's got a mint arm, don't you know?
I heard he killed him with an axe though.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
kids.
I mean, my
say
dad's a cop,
different
I would
ru-
know.
That was because my dad works at Microsoft. What's that? I don't know. No, but yeah. Ratings. How would we go? Start with Ninja. Take it away.
I mean, other than maybe the thing with the rocket ship, I can't really think of a big flaw, and I would have to rewatch that scene again because I thought it was like he dug it into his arm, and then I thought he put it back in his pocket, but I could be wrong. Either way, the guy should have taken it. But I would say this is easily like an 8 or a 9. It's pretty up there.
I will say, I will go and say I would give it a 9.
I am curious on this. After he takes the grading down, does the killer man he comes back down after that, right? I'm trying to remember the timeline here.
Do what?
And he takes the grating from the window.
Yeah. I was about to ask, like, how come he doesn't notice that?
Uh, was the grading down in the other scenes?
Well, he had just he takes it
Yeah,
down.
he rips it down. I don't remember it being down in the other scenes, so I could be wrong.
It's because when he grabs the thing from the toilet, if you look over here, like I'll take a screenshot of it. It's just kind of hanging out in the corner of the room. So it's like, wait a minute, did Killer Man not notice that there's a bit more light in the room?
That
we
would
need
be
to
a
know.
flaw.
Yeah, because I was thinking about this too. That's why.
Because the thing one of the things that would keep him from escaping is just gone now. Because that's just a normal window up there.
Well, it was all, but it's
Yep.
also really high up, though. That's the thing. Is like actually get up there.
Yeah.
We see that at the beginning of the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
A lot of this room was like, well, but that would also go against it. It's like, well, how did he not notice that? That's
Yeah.
fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how much that impacts it. It's just something I've been thinking about.
I'm trying to think, because like I know in some of them he's standing in the doorway. He doesn't like go into the room like all the way after that happens. I'm just trying to remember if he is in a place where if he actually did after that. I don't know if he did.
I think I'd put this around an 8 or a 9. What about you,
Okay.
Max?
I'd give it a 9 too. Easy.
Slur?
I mean, I
Slay?
kind of went briefly over the way I do my number rating things when we watched I think it was Hellraiser or Jeepers Creepers, one of the two. And yeah, this movie does almost nothing wrong, and it does a bunch of other shit so incredibly fucking well that yeah, it's 8-9 easy. Like there's so little you could argue that this movie does poorly,
I'd argue
and so much that it does so
this is probably
fucking well.
this is probably the best movie I've seen in a very long time. I'll go say it. Modern movie, I should say, that I've seen in a very long time.
What about Hellraiser? You loved that.
Yeah, I mean, you told us you loved that movie.
Yeah,
Kill yourself.
you told us that was gonna be your absolute favorite movie, and you were gonna show your kids
Yeah.
that one day.
We have you in 4K
Oh,
ray
you're gonna
tracing.
show your kids Hellraiser?
I mean, I'll
I
show
have
them.
such sights to show you,
I'll
child.
I'll show them the original. Yeah, I'll show them the original and the second one.
Yeah, the Hulu original.
Yeah,
And then maybe the third one, because the third one's really funny.
Yeah.
that hasn't
Oh,
been
man.
made
We
yet.
know that you think Hulu is 2 for 2. They got Prey, they got Hellraiser.
No. My children
That-
are not seeing Prey. They will
Is
not
that a-
watch it.
Is that on your channel, Jake? Your prey video?
No.
Okay.
It's the next one after the one I'm editing is up. It's the next one.
Gotcha. Make sure to
So-
subscribe to Jake the Surgeon's channel
So
Yeah.
to find out his opinion on prey.
I was going to say
Yeah.
this is the end of Halloween. How weird
I
is
know,
that?
it's sad.
That is weird.
let's-
Yeah.
Yeah,
let's
Max
quickly.
survived again.
I'm gonna
Oh, no.
quickly pull up the episodes done
This-
so far, and let's rate the films that we've seen this month.
American Psycho, 10 out of 10. Fuck
Well,
you.
I mean, I really did enjoy American Psycho, hence my icon.
American Psycho's a pretty fucking fun movie, dog.
It's also very difficult to rate because every person who rates it is going to be going on assumptions of what they think it's trying to do. And if
Mhm.
you're one of those people who somehow, for some reason, thinks that it's supposed to be just like any other horror movie, when it's so very clearly got like satire elements to it, your rating's going to be a little bit unreliable, I think.
Well, right. What would you say has been the best movie that we've seen this Halloween?
Probably Black Phone.
I was gonna
Yeah.
say,
Like just
as
objectively.
much as I absolutely adore American Psycho, it's probably
And
I don't
American
know, I
Psycho
mean-
is fucking excellent. I do love that movie, but for very different reasons.
I mean, I think.
I mean,
the-
Max almost died at Jeepers Creepers 3, so
Yeah.
well,
we all-
that wasn't on screen.
No.
So
But it
like,
was pretty
hey,
funny.
Hey, I bet
it was
you.
amazing though.
Hey, I bet you the grabber could get a table at Dorcia's.
He would grab a table. He would grab a reservation at Doris. Yeah.
Now, Gabby, tell us about this dream, because it just turns out an unreleased detail from all of these crimes is that the killer had to return some tapes.
They really liked Phil Collins.
He has more than one Whitney Houston album?
Like unironically.
Ironically.
what follows Black Phone?
American Psycho.
Maybe American Psycho. Yeah.
What was the? Hang on. Fuck. What
So
were the other?
So, okay, I'll run through all of what we've covered. We covered American Psycho, we covered The Thing, covered Hellraiser,
Oh,
Jeepers
fuck.
Creepers,
Mm.
and Black
I
Phone.
forgot we did The Thing.
Yeah, we did do that, didn't we? But I still put American Psycho thing. But I'm hardcore biased.
Ooh.
I'm biased. Remember, I
Objectively,
don't
I do
like.
think The
do
Thing is a
that,
bit more
yeah.
solid.
Oh yeah,
I-
without a doubt.
I've never seen American Psycho, so I can't.
Oh, dude,
Really?
you need to.
No.
That's a fucking
It
banger
is
of a movie.
very fucking funny.
But I have seen The Thing many times.
Thing is
Where would you put
very
it?
fucking good.
Where would you put it, like, on a scale of 1 to 10?
I want to get. I'd say like at minimum, if I had to lowball it without rewatching it, probably an 8. But I wouldn't be opposed to it being a 9.
Originally, I was at about a 9, but on rewatches, like, there's some things that are a little bit dodgy here and there, so I think I'm happy with about an 8.
Yeah.
Which
thought
is
we were
weird, because if we go just on pure numbers, that means that Black Phone objectively might be a little bit stronger than The Thing, which feels
Yeah,
very strange.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Very
So,
strange to say that.
so everybody
But-
type into the chat. I'm curious, just so we can
You
focus
type
a
in the
bit.
chat.
What everybody? So we've touched 5 films. 5 being the highest, 1 being the lowest. Everybody put your favorites.
Okay.
So you said 5 is the highest?
Favorite or best?
Yes, we're
Well, hang on. Yeah, what's
we're-
hang on.
we're-
Yeah,
this is
what are we?
subjective. We're
Type out a list.
yeah.
This is subjective.
No, objective.
Okay.
Objective. Let's not. All right. Well,
Bulk bone.
Jake, get out of here.
Oh.
1
okay.
being the worst.
Oh, I didn't
no,
know
one is
that.
the worst.
Yeah, I
Okay.
said-
Okay, I didn't
I
know
said,
that.
I said that. I said 5 being the best, 1 being the worst.
You realize that's super unconventional, right? Like you're doing.
I thought you were
Yeah,
like doing like
most
a
things
normal
would be the other
list
way
where
around.
it's like
Yeah,
the
it's like
1 is at the
literally number
top and the
one.
5 is at
Yeah.
the bottom. That just seems.
You know,
that seems
things being number 1 generally means they're incredibly fucking
you know
good.
what, fuck you, Wyatt. I'm gonna do that. I don't care about your rules.
You just see me coming behind you with some leather gloves, just hands slowly going around your neck.
Oh, we have to type them all out.
Yeah, while we're typing, I will say I think I hated Hellraiser the most, to the point it almost made me pass out.
No, if you would have hated it, your rage would have sustained you. You mean it bored you?
It was 4 in the fucking. It was like 5 in the morning by the time we got the film going.
Now, to be fair, that isn't Hellraiser's fault. That's Ninja's fault.
It is. He agreed to it. And ran with it and got everyone else involved. It was a fucking joke on my part to him.
Then you should have fucking said so. You know I don't read tone.
I'm sorry, you're right. I forgot you were autistic for a second. My bad.
Let's see.
You guys can't hear me typing, by the way, can you?
No.
Okay, Grant. Just making sure, because I can hear it, and I actually don't like that my keyboard is quite loud, but, you know, all the good ones.
There's nothing. I was going to say there's nothing wrong with having a good mechanical clickety clack keyboard. I adore those kinds of keyboards.
I'm not a fan. In fact, I'm
So,
quite
hold on.
controversial in this because you know the tippity tappy kind of keyboards you usually get with like laptops
I was
and
gonna
stuff.
say, so does
I
this
prefer
bother
those.
you?
Yes, that's
Yeah.
very annoying.
Well, that's obnoxious. Like you literally.
But it's also just like when I'm on my own, like not even like microphone etiquette as a thing, but just typing being a loud activity is quite annoying.
Slur. I like your cut, G.
Yeah.
Best girl.
Now everyone knows the best girl is Adam Smasher.
Bruh.
Bruh. Who the fuck are you? Wait, why? Have you finished it?
No, I haven't.
God damn it. Finish it. It's literally so fucking short.
I know, I'm on episode 5 now. I'm halfway done.
Wait, you're on episode 5?
Yeah.
Dude, I
Jesus.
stopped watching it like a week or so ago, and I'm on episode 7.
Wait, you're not finished either?
No,
Neither
I-
of
it
them
was-
are. They are
What
both
the
the
fuck?
big pism.
So here's the thing. I fucking did all of House of Dragons and fucking the fucking Power in like 2 days.
Why?
And I came like
Why did
because
you do
I
that to
fucking
yourself?
I hate myself and I hated both experiences. And
You think that's
But the
bad? I'm
thing
gonna have to
is-
binge all of Rings of Power in probably
but the
one
thing
sitting.
is, oh, but you're gonna have a blast though. But the thing is, fucking Edge Runners is literally only 3 episodes of both. It's literally less than 3.5 hours
Right.
to finish all of Edge Runners. And I know you motherfuckers can binge, so I'm curious why you haven't finished it.
Why
I'm
it's
just,
bad at binging, remember?
I'm just,
That's
Two
true.
ep-
That's
two
right.
episodes a
I'm-
day so far.
Ugh.
I don't know.
40
it's like,
minutes?
So like this has been my thing for like at least like 2 years now, where it's like this anime is really good. I'm gonna watch it, and then
Well,
I like watch like half of it, and then I don't come back to it till like a month later.
Thanks, guy who's just holding the fucking horn. So I wanted to
Yeah.
binge it all in one go at work, so I could just have it. So I had something to watch at work, but I forgot the Netflix info that you and I are sharing, Max. And then you were just like, "No, watch it on the television."
Oh yeah.
So the reason
it's
you
'cause-
haven't seen it is because you're not being paid to see it.
Imagine watching it on
That's-
Netflix.
No, that's not.
Cringe.
That's not it at all.
Shut the fuck up, Jake.
I haven't been watching it on Netflix.
Wait,
Stop
what?
openly admitting you pirate shit. You know that actually.
Yes, stop that. Support the fucking literally support the official release.
Or at least stop fucking incriminating yourself, dude.
Never.
it.
So with the list, since everyone, everybody turned in, so everybody put Black Phone as number 1. We seem to all, except for Max, seem to put The Thing as number 2.
Number 3. Oh,
it is.
I put it in number 3. I'll put it in 2.
No, you don't need to. You don't need to conform with the rest of us.
No.
So for him, he put The Thing. For the rest of us, so Ninja, you put 3 as Jeepers Creepers.
I think this
Right.
might be the more controversial one, whether Jeepers Creepers or fucking American Psycho is better. I think
Mhm.
that was probably the most controversial thing across the list.
Yeah, because I think
Yes.
Slur, yours and I are actually almost the same thing. They are the same thing, actually.
Yeah, I think American Psycho is stronger as a movie than Jeepers Creepers, even though I do think both of them are very good at what they're trying to be.
Yeah, if you had to put me on both of them, I like American Psycho more, but like it is a very hard toss up.
Also, they're just very fucking different kinds of movies. Like Jeepers
much.
Creepers is good because it's a simple, straightforward kind of a horror movie, and it just fucking sticks the landing. American Psycho, one of the most appealing things about it is that it's going off the fucking road. It's like American Psycho just looks at any kind of classic kind of serial killer shit and says, "Okay, let's get weird.
Especially as Rem-
We're flipping the POV. We're going to do this whole thing from the serial killer's perspective. Also, he's fucking nuts."
to the point he genuinely like questions whether or not he went on a rampage and caused a car to explode with a Glock.
Yeah,
Well, that didn't happen, dude.
Right.
that was definitely a fucking
No,
hallucination.
no, yeah,
but
that
other things
no,
might
yeah,
not
his
have been.
rampage does not happen. That is very clear. Because
The rampage might have happened. The car didn't explode. Okay, that's.
But like, the cops aren't there to shoot at him anymore. Fuck
Yeah.
happened?
yeah,
Like,
the cops aren't chasing him down as like. If
Jake,
he-
I don't want to say too much more. You should really watch American Psycho. You're in for good. Like, remember the happiness we experienced with Jeepers Creepers 3?
Yes.
You might get the same out of American Psycho.
But in the way it was intended.
No, I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
No,
I don't
with
know.
an internet with a post-internet world, no, you're not gonna enjoy it like how it was originally intended.
Okay.
But I don't,
No,
I
I'm
don't,
like,
I don't know if I don't know if that's what they were going for or not. That's like the weird part of it.
Yeah,
I
because
do
I-
think its memeability is quite intentional.
Yes.
because with Jeepers Creepers 3, it's fucking hilarious and it's not supposed to be.
Yeah, that's true. Like I said, and I don't know if American Psycho is supposed to be hilarious. Fucking A,
It
comes
is.
off like
It very
specifically,
is.
specifically the fucking what are those revolving doors? Specifically the revolving door thing always fucking makes me die.
Because he didn't have to shoot that janitor. He just like bang, and then just goes through it again. That's
remember-
he
remember,
was one away from a kill streak, and he was like free kill, bang.
And then remember, Jake, this is fucking Christian Bale playing this character. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
He's hamming it the fuck up, and it's great.
His face is doing so much work that entire movie. Every facial expression, that's why there's so many gifs of it. Is because like everything he does, he
Oh, yeah.
exaggerates his
When he-
facial reaction to it so hard.
When he's at the Mexican restaurant with Paul Allen, it's like the great ass, and then it cuts to Bateman going that ooh doing that face.
It's a reaction gif of the movie.
Oh, Carnage Ninja.
So I think we pretty much all agree that Hellraiser.
Hellraiser is definitely at the bottom of the fucking barrel.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. It
and
was
we kind
fucking
of covered our
boring as
reasons why.
shit. It was boring as fuck.
It was terrible.
Boring
And
as
all-
shit, but also the things that, even the things that weren't shit, the way in which they weren't shit, it's like all of the things that gave us anything we could latch onto as being decent Hellraiser stuff, it was all in like the last 15-20 minutes.
I would
And
argue
even
the
then,
last,
it was
like,
kinda
10
disappointing.
seconds.
Yeah, it's like
And you know
I
what?
remember at one point when we were actually watching it, one of us was like, "Yeah, this should have just been the whole movie."
And you know what? I don't know if this is a hot take or not, but the first one, I'd argue is a bit maybe not more gruesome, but more uncomfortable with the chains and stuff.
Oh, absolutely.
That's because they had to, they were practical effects, so they actually had to do a lot of fucking work to make it scary.
Well, there were a lot of practical effects in the gore effects in the remake.
Yeah, but
In
if you
the
think about the
remake,
kind
I
of
didn't-
practical effects, because the Xenobites in both of these two movies, the first Hellraiser and the new one, the Cenobites are practical in both, but it comes across very differently.
Yeah,
Because the practicals in the new ones
fake.
are like, the new
They
ones look way too clean and plastic. And even though what they are is technically on paper gruesome and horrific and all body horror stuff, it just kind of looks sort of alien and not that intimidating. Whereas the much simpler, not even half as fucking intricate or detailed stuff that they did with the old ones, where you just had Pinhead and he had those slats across his chest where you could see like his fucking skin had been ripped off and that was just a part of his costume. So much more simple, and yet it hit so much harder because it was so clear what it was. Whereas for
Also-
some of these, you actually didn't really fully understood what you were looking at because it was all shiny and clean and rubbery.
And Doug Bradley is a better Pinhead.
And also,
Also that, but that's a different thing.
Yeah.
Also, let's just not forget that some of the rules were unclear, such as oh, let me stab the Cenobite with the lament configuration, and it works.
Yeah. And like I said, I'm not even sure that was supposed to work. I think like
What? But like,
Woman
I
Pinhead just
remember,
went along with it.
I think it was Max that brought this up. But what if you stab yourself when you solve the first configuration? What's gonna happen then?
Then I guess somebody else just gets the box.
Somebody just fix it up, yeah, and whatever.
But
Demons.
what if like you're solving it in the middle of Antarctica? What then?
And it waits.
Yeah,
Right.
this is.
It waits. It wait. And
What
like
was
it never happens again. And Leviathan's just like, man, no one's come to summon me in a while. How is it?
Yeah.
Oh, Earth's
I mean,
dead.
I was going to say
no,
Leviathan
have
can
you
wait.
Well,
I was
no,
gonna
then
say,
you
yeah.
just take out all the predators that survived the global warming. He let them
With the autism.
Well, it's weird that you said predators because I was literally about to reference how it should have ended with predator, where it's like he only killed us because he didn't have weapons. Like, if he did that, then why are we carrying these weapons? That's a very good question. They all throw their weapons down, and Predator like reaches down, picks up the rifle, and goes,
You idiots! There are weapons on the chopper.
and that's what I'm saying. That's what Leviathan's doing.
It's like, oh, lament configuration.
What? No
No,
thanks,
thank
dude.
you.
It just slams it on the ground.
So yeah, this this ends our Halloween coverage. This has been a good year. At the very
The Slur brought the worst movie to the
Yes, I
table.
did. Yeah, that one's on me.
Be ashamed of yourself.
I shall attach myself to the whipping post of bad movies.
Look in the mirror. Look in the mirror and know that you have recommended that, and feel the shame of all your ancestors and descendants consumed.
I'll
Yes,
go
sir.
to the fucking
Wyatt
church
still
and
got
tell
the
the
record,
priest
though.
will post a cringe.
Wyatt's got
Yeah.
what, 2?
that are on record. So I have Pandora.
Pantorum.
Good
Fuck.
one.
Then what's
You don't even
what's-
remember your favorite movie.
I
Doctor.
remember that movie.
what's film number 2? Because we never record.
Men.
No, we haven't.
I
done
don't
episode
care
on
whether
that.
we recorded it or not. You subjected us to it twice.
Yeah, that is your fault.
I was the devil on Max's shoulder. It's like, yeah, go ahead, watch it. That was
I
gonna
have
get
Green Knight.
Oh God,
You
That's my sin.
that's because because at least men like we could talk about it. Like fuck Green Knight, man.
I would honestly argue at least we can talk about how
Fuck
bad
it.
Men
Let-
was.
Uh,
Green Knight, we genuinely have no energy for.
Listen, if you have an autistic knowledge of Arthurian lore,
You
Green
just
Knight
don't
makes
under-
perfect sense.
You just don't understand Arthurian legend, okay?
I understand enough to know that you should still fucking tell a good story, motherfucker.
right?
So what is
Yeah.
Max's shame? What has he brought to the table?
What have I brought?
Let's.
I haven't brought anything yet, have I?
Let me go over our whole list of episodes, and we'll
Not,
see.
I don't think you've brought anything that's been that level of pointing. That's for sure.
Well, hang on. Let's take a look. Let's find out.
I'm
Has Max from Yet Another Response podcast?
You just
Are you trying to
Google it.
Google it?
Shut up. Listen.
Google wouldn't know the answer to this. It doesn't know who you are.
Google will be like, get the fuck out.
So I'm just gonna start
Who?
listing.
Who?
Who? Let's see. Past because the last thing we did was the Tarantino arc. All right, so we've got World's End.
Those are
Hot
all bangers, so
Fuzz.
fuck you.
I'm not. I'm just listing off movie.
He's
The
thinking
World's
out loud.
End, Hot Fuzz, Plot Armor,
Peacemaker.
Peacemaker. We enjoyed that.
Mostly.
Yeah, we
Mostly.
didn't really like what's her face, Amanda Waller's daughter, but not enough to drag the whole thing down.
Was I the one who brought up Dodgeball, or was that Ninja?
We were talking
either
about
way,
I think we-
films in general.
Yeah, we watched Dodgeball after the Basketball just because the movies have a lot in common.
Ball.
Yeah, ball.
Yeah.
Both movies have balls.
To begin with, yeah.
Law
It's
I
good.
brought
Goodness
I brought a law-abiding citizen. I forgot that
Don't-
epic fucking thumbnail.
Don't look up law-abiding
Hey,
citizen.
what's the
No Way
thumbnail
Home.
to Law Abiding?
It's
It's
look it up,
Leonidas and fucking Electro.
look it up.
What?
Pull it
Yeah.
up. We got Alice. We got Alice in Borderland with Squid Game. We got Arcane with Shady.
That might be the closest thing, Max.
That wasn't 100% on me though.
No, I know, but you were advocating for it.
Because I wanted to see it. That was the thing. If we didn't cover it, I was just gonna watch it. But I had no idea about any. Cabin in the
fair.
Woods. None of those are mine because fuck.
Star Wars Visions. The Suicide
Oh
Squad.
yeah, VHS. Those were fucking bangers. Good job, Ninja.
Blade Runner. What If? Love, Death, and Robots. A Comic Got Kill. The Kevin
I
Smith.
was like, who was the one that recommended 2049 specifically?
I think because we watched. I think it was because we watched Blade Runner. We had to watch the sequel.
Yeah, we just did that as an arc. I feel like that might fall under Wyatt, but I don't want to put that on. That's one of those things. Like I don't want to put like Arcane on any one of us. I was gonna say I don't want to put that on any one of us because that was like a good thing.
Yeah, I think that one just kind of like emerged out of general conversation of ideas of like classic movies.
What If definitely wasn't mine because I remember being dragged into that and I remember just saying no and leaving.
We had to stop halfway through.
It wasn't even halfway. It was like fucking 5 minutes.
It wasn't halfway, dude. It was 10 minutes in. It was literally the 9. It was the 9-minute mark. I remember that vividly, and I was like, I can't do this.
We got to the
leaving.
Oh, we talking about episode 2? Episode 2. Stew Lord.
We got to the we got to the Thanos sitting down, and we were just like, "Fuck this."
Like, nothing can beat a good argument.
Let's see. The Kevin Smith.
I mean, Decapitation did a fucking bang up job. I'll just throw that out there.
The Lily Orchard WoW video. Hunter x Hunter. Alien Covenant Nobody. Prometheus. Hunter x Hunter again. Aliens.
Invincible.
Kung Fu Hustle.
That was mine. Wait, was it mine?
Yeah, I think that was yours. Because it was just after you had joined us. Because we had 24, which was us beginning Hunter x Hunter, and then you joining the cast.
With the Invincible. What a fucking great start.
Kung Fu Hustle was my recommendation, but I let Max take over.
Yeah, because that was the thing. It's like I was gonna say I don't know. That's why I didn't take the credit. So I like that movie. It's one of my favorite movies, but I don't remember being the one to spearhead that.
I think that was another thing that came up in a conversation, because it was the whole thing of like Wyatt had seen it kind of, but like didn't like it, and Ninja and I found this very confusing, and it led down this whole other.
Well, it's because as I had said many a times, because I wasn't.
Yes,
in the
we've
mood.
had the conversation. It's fine. We know now. But
Yes.
that's why it came up originally, is because of that.
Yes. Yeah. Okay.
High Tops Batman video, AVP.
And that's, as I say, that's it for me. Invincible was my first
Yeah.
go. Technically, Sea of Thieves was my first go, but like,
Christ.
you know what I mean? That was it.
So far, Max don't miss.
Yeah,
still missed.
no horrible.
Hey man, the two I'm going for next are fucking Cyberpunk and fucking Gurren Lagann. So
I mean, I already know that neither of those fucking miss.
yeah, so like it's like
I don't know.
Gurren Lagann
Cyberpunk was promised to be really good, and when it came out, it was shit.
Sorry, I keep saying the wrong thing. You're right. I meant Edge
Edge
Runners.
Runner.
It is
Yes.
Cyberpunk. You can say it. For
No,
No,
but we have to.
It's
We have to.
needlessly fucking confusing. I like
Yes.
to just refer to it as Edge Runners. It's much easier.
Yeah, exactly.
Edge
I like to
Runners
refer to it as
so-
California Simulator.
So hold on. Then for the game, do you just go 2077?
Don't just say the game.
that-
Just say Cyberpunk.
Why
No.
the fuck would I ever refer to the game?
There's that.
The implication, Wyatt, of them dropping Cyberpunk is that they literally want to distance themselves from that piece of shit.
Remember, the Cyberpunk devs didn't want the lolly, so. No, the lolly must stay.
Fuck's sake. Yeah, that's one of the biggest irritating things about what CD Projekt Red has interpreted in Night City. Their version of Night City is too goddamn clean, whereas what we saw in Edge Runners, no, that was
beautiful.
actual Night City.
It was beautiful and how grimy it was.
Yeah, it was very cyberpunk.
No,
in a very
Night City is
good
supposed
way.
to be dark, depressing, like, yeah, people.
Sorry,
are
it was
having
cyberpunk
fun.
the genre, not cyberpunk the property. The fact they named the game after the genre in which it's set
Well,
is
no,
something
it's
that could
because
be
Yeah,
used
it's
for
well,
the
that's 'cause
original
its name-
tabletop came out like
That's what
during
it's
the original
called, yeah.
zeitgeist, like that. It was one of the forefathers.
Well, but it would
Still.
still be naming it after the genre. It's like if they named Lord of the Rings high fantasy.
Or they
Yeah.
named the D&D movie high fantasy.
Yeah, it's
Like-
like, oh.
So yeah, okay, you can like argue it's because of zeitgeist, whatever the fuck, but still, you understand when you use that name that you're being needlessly obtuse.
Mm-hmm.
Obtuse. Guava juice.
Not very acute.
All right, that's a good gif. You just sent that,
Ninja, you
Max.
need to watch. You need to watch Edge Runners, bro. Let's do it. Fuck it. And the fucking is the fucking podcast over. Turn the shit off.
No, so thank you all so much for sticking with us for another.
That's the new outro. Is this shit over? Turn that off.
Turn that shit off. Let's watch.
Just,
let's watch.
just the
Edge Runners.
sound of microphones breaking is just
Just fucking
stuff-
like just fucking tables
feed-
flipping into fucking
feedback
just
sound.
the
Fucking door closes in the distance, and that's just it. It
Yeah,
runs
no
for
wonder
for
we don't
5
get
minutes.
paid to be here.
So thank you all
I
so
just
much
scared
for
the shit out of
sticking
my
with-
dog.
Thank you so much for sticking with us for another Halloween. We all appreciate it. We gotta go return some tapes. Bye.
There we go.